My name is Noelia Villanueva, and this presentation is going to be on the controversy of abortion. My target audience is everyone because you can always learn, but I'm mainly trying to persuade pro-life people to understand the importance of having abortion. Restricting abortion or banning abortion can cause many problems for women and others. Some of the problems that I discussed in my literature review: the violation of women's rights, how they can lead to unsafe abortions, the way they affect doctors and other people negatively, and the way they cause mental and physical issues. The right to health care is a right that is not obviously stated anywhere in like the Constitution or anything, but it is an implied right because it's crucial for humans. However, there was a law passed, Roe versus Wade, where the Supreme Court ruled that the Constitution of the United States protects a pregnant woman's right to choose to have an abortion without excessive government restriction. Taking this right away from her violates her human rights and causes her to feel shameful and lose her dignity. Restricting and banning abortions can also lead to unsafe abortions. Most women, when they have obstacles put in front of them when trying to get an abortion, will take matters into their own hands and try to perform the procedure themselves, or have someone that is not qualified to perform it do it. The abortions performed right are much safer than giving birth, and in some cases, after an unsafe abortion, doctors cannot help the patient depending on how severe the outcome is. Almost always, injuries from unsafe abortions could have been prevented if the procedure was done by a professional or the right way. This image here has a bunch of facts about how banning abortion endangers women's health. Unintended pregnancy is the root cause of most abortions, but even so, making abortion illegal does not stop it from occurring. It will just get women obtain unsafe abortions. 47,000 women die yearly from unsafe abortions, and millions more are injured. 222 million women have an unmet need for modern contraception. 86% of abortions take place in the developing world, where most abortion laws are highly restrictive, which will obviously cause a bunch of injuries and even some deaths there. Banning and restricting abortions affect others too, not just women. Mostly women, but it also affects healthcare providers from fulfilling their job properly, and in some cases, the healthcare workers even receive threats because women want them to do it, and pro-life people do not want them to perform this procedure. And in many cases, when healthcare workers cannot do their job and something bad happens to the woman, they feel responsible because they know they could have prevented it. Another issue that comes from restriction on abortions is mental and physical issues. Like I just said, healthcare workers have to bear the feeling that it's their fault, and that can create mental issues. And for women, having to bear a child, even in some cases where they're raped, they still have to have the child. So that can definitely cause mental issues, and if they take matters into their own hands and try to get an unsafe abortion, that can cause physical issues. I'm about to play a short clip that discusses the effects of banning and restricting abortion.
Who was one of the co-sponsors of this bill, says was her motivation. She says this bill is about challenging Roe versus Wade and protecting the lives of the unborn because an unborn baby is a person who deserves love and protection. I have prayed my way through this bill. This is the way we get where we want to get eventually. And so, look, we understand how passionate this issue is on both sides, but I'm just wondering, do your colleagues who voted for this, do they ever talk about what happens after that 12-year-old who was the victim of rape and incest has the baby? Are they allotting resources for mental health, et cetera, for what happens after that little girl has to have, after that girl has to have her rapist's baby?
No, we can't even get them to talk about health care in the state of Alabama. Anytime you talk about health care in Alabama, they think you want to expand Medicaid and want to do what they call Obamacare. And that is just a bad word around the state of Alabama. There's no new money even in our budget for mental health, even after the Department of Justice came in and said that we even violating prisoners' right with mental health in the state of Alabama, just to put money in the budget just for regular, everyday patients on mental health, or for women reproductive rights, or just for women health, for infant mortality rate that is high in areas like in my district that are rural and poor. Hospitals are closing down in the areas, doctors are leaving the area, and they don't even want to address that. So there's no conversation. Some of these gentlemen just don't have the heart to do it.
I think a big issue about this controversy is that we have the wrong people deciding the fate of women. It is a woman's body, and it should be a woman's choice whether or not they decide to get an abortion. People have also made abortion into a political issue when in reality it's a human right, and it is needed because a lot of women die every year because they don't have good access to the procedure. Here's an image displaying how men in political power fight and argue over what the woman should do. And as you can see, the woman is just back there looking helpless and upset because she can't choose for herself. A big controversy of abortions is that it's murder, and people just care about women not killing the babies, but they don't care what happens after they're given birth to. No one provides them with schooling or a good house. They just want the baby to be given birth to. In some cases, though, the baby can end up in foster care or with a family that doesn't take care of them, and maybe even an abusive household. And no one thinks about that. They just care that the baby's born, but the baby could be born into a worse situation. Another concern that people have when it comes to abortion is that the fetus can feel pain, which is true in some cases. I read online that most fetuses do not start to feel pain until around 24 weeks, maybe a little before that, and most procedures are done and taken place during the first trimester, which is like 4 to 6 weeks. Some abortions do take place later, but in most cases, the fetus does not feel any pain. Society's opinion on abortion is very huge, but they only care about women's bodies when it comes to abortions, and nothing else. Society is fine with women selling their bodies for money and doing drugs and things that will hurt them, but when it comes to abortions, they don't care about women having their own choice and they want to decide for them. The point of this presentation is to show you that no matter what you believe, abortion is needed because restricting and banning it causes a lot of harm to women and others.